Hey, besties. Let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? How is telling someone that your wallet is bigger than theirs a huge, disappointing comment when this is a person who has constantly been accusing you of drinking a lot for 2 seasons and accused you of popping pills? How is that even even? And she calls you, see you next Tuesday. Child, Sutton need to go in some more on poor Reed. Welcome, besties. You are now behind the shade. Thanks for joining me. I recap your favorite reality shows weekly. Now let's kiki and ha ha try to, because this episode was boring. And get into another episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 14, episode 19, reunion part 2. Besties, how would you rate this reunion part 2? It was a 5 for me, maybe a 4. Just nothing really going on. Garcelle over there with an attitude, barely talking, not engaging. And they really just talked about Kyle and PK and the texting. Boring. Get over it. Can we move on? We've been hearing about it half the season. And then the other half of the season has been Sutton and Dorit. The end. The end. Woo. Drop down in the comments, besties, and let me know what you thought about part 2. Please like the video, make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and make sure your notification bell is on so that you know each and every time I post my content. Now, baby, okay, so the episode begins. Garcelle came back on stage after lunch. She got, she was talking to Sutton and she came back, because I believe if you don't complete the season, the reunions, you get fired. And if she gets fired, then she can't get unemployment. Child, no. If she gets fired, she can get. She's quitting, so she can't get. Okay, that joke didn't land. Let's go. Okay. Um, Kyle tells her that the conversation that they had off camera was a friend moment type of deal. She was trusting and sharing with Garcelle as friends, and it was not to shut her up like Garcelle thought. She just couldn't share it on camera because Morgan didn't want to be mentioned on camera. And so, when you watch these shows, you got to kind of know what's produced, fake, blah, blah, blah. Because in the real world, if I tell you something in confidence and you go on the show and put me on blast, we're going to have some problems. So then it's like, well, why? Then my question was, why was Garcelle so pressed in getting information out of Kyle about Morgan if they're supposed to be friends and she already talked to you, Garcelle? So this is why you can't be team nobody, because Garcelle, actually, that was not a friend thing to do. That was not cool. Okay. Viewers tell Kyle, this is a reality show. Why are you not sharing parts of your life? Honey, Kyle was like, I don't care if it's Morgan, her, my daughters. I will not share anything if it's going to hurt the people in my life that I love. I'm not sacrificing that for a show, for fans, for ratings. She read it down to the ground. Will she be back next season, Andy? And then somebody was over there like, yeah, I agree. Me neither. Probably was Erica. So Bo says, stand 10 toes down, girl. And I was like, okay, Bo, you got to work on your slang and your swag just a little. And so she's telling her, stand 10 toes down and the girl, own it, honey. Just say it. I'm not sharing. And that's all you got to say. You ain't got to have no long, drawn out conversations explaining to people who going to try to throw you under the bus. Just say, I'm not sharing. Good advice, Bose. Kyle and Dorit go back and forth and back again about Kyle's two sets of rules. She has two different sets of rules. She has one for everyone else, and then she has another set of rules for Dorit. And Kyle being Kyle, she throws it back at you. She's a great tennis player. If you know, you know. Whatever you throw at her, she throws right back at you. Well, I feel the same way about you. Kyle told her she was quick to forgive Erica, but will hold a grudge with her. Dorit denies it and says that's why they have ended up like they are now because she has let so much slide by dealing with Kyle. Then Kyle stopped responding to her text messages because of Dorit's comment on Watch What Happens Live. And so, in that instance, of course, Kyle and Morgan got closer for probably more reasons. And, they wasn't as close anymore and because Kyle got mad at her. Dorit feels like Kyle distanced herself after they all went to London celebrating Mo's birthday. I said, wait, what? Oh, Kyle, how demure is that to have your friend come to London, or maybe she was already there, we don't know. But you invited Morgan to dinner with your husband for his birthday. And that's why you crying every time you in a scene with Mauricio. You know you messed up. And I don't want to hear, maybe that I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear. Of course, when you first meet somebody, you're not going to be in love and be together. You do have to get to know one another. It is called, what we used to call back in the day, talking. There was a period you would talk before you decided to be boyfriend and girlfriend, or girlfriend and girlfriend, or boyfriend and boyfriend. So maybe they were in the talking state, but still, when you're connected because you have chemistry, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you wonder, well, now it makes sense why she always crying. Kyle, you went too far. You went too far with Morgan last season. You went too far, and you are probably the one that is behind this. Don't mention her. You are probably the one because you see how stupid you look, and you just said how you not going what you not gonna do on the show when it hurt. You already did it. You're not gonna do it no more. Say that. You're not gonna do it anymore. You're not gonna talk about people and bring people on the show anymore if it hurts them. Morgan couldn't even deal with all that. And Andy brings up a great point. And so he said, Andy says Morgan is a singer. Like, she travels, like she tours, she performs, like she has a greater publicity audience. Like, she should be used to being under the wire, being speculated and having speculations of her. And, like, don't she be in US Weekly like the rest of the stars with all that gossip and all them rumors and lies? Like, so Kyle is like, well, she has not experienced all of that until here. Bull crap. Bull crap. Bull swanky. You're lying. So Kyle's talking in circles. And Andy is protecting her. Not really. Andy's kind of holding her feet to the fire. He was like, but y'all made that music video where y'all was, lesbian it up. He didn't say that. That's me. People were already talking and speculating with the music video. Child. And so he tells her, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And then Dorit was like, yeah, wasn't y'all the ones talking about, let's give them something to talk about? Kyle says she can't deal with all this no more. She can't put nothing else on her plate. She's not dealing with this. Next thing, Andy. So Andy asks, have they gotten to a better place? her and Kyle and Dorit. So Kyle wants Dorit to be more accountable, and Dorit wanted Kyle to be more honest, about them text messages texted by husband. And it's like, girl, you're separated husband, but nonetheless, her husband, your estranged husband, the husband you talk so much crap about. You didn't call him broke and a monster and a bad dad and an alcoholic. Like, Dorit, you have no room to talk about nobody else's nothing. This is kind of what you. You better go get them crystals that Kyle keep dropping on the floor. You better pick one of them up. So of course they go into talking about Kyle and PK's text threads. Oh, pull out the violin already. I'm so tired. One thing I'm tired of hearing about this. I am. I almost skipped this part. So, they went into talking about how they wanted Kyle to read the text from PK and how much Kyle didn't want to. But then she broke down and did it at Bose's party at her house. And then Dorit's like, yeah, she read the text and then she stormed off. I'm talking about at Chuck E. Cheese when you read it to all the girls. So Wendy took a poll on Watch What Happens Live. And during that time, the question was Kyle and, PK's texting inappropriate? 75% of the people said yes. Erica says he was talking about the show, not Dorit, when he was talking about, when he was just rambling about how he felt, about how he was being treated. So Garcelle said her response sounded like something else because Kyle said, I'll hold your secrets. Don't worry. I won't tell nobody. Bo says, yeah, like you have secrets. Kyle says she understands, but those were not her intentions. She's not denying anything of what y'all are saying. She knows what it looked like. She knows what you guys feel like it looked like. But she's telling you that ain't it, sis. Look at PK and look at Mauricio. Come on, y'all. And matter of fact, Kyle ain't even on men right now. So stop pushing this narrative. She on girls right now, Dorit. Andy asked Kyle, how would she feel if the tables were turned, and it was Mo and Dorit texting? Like again, she's like, I understand. I wouldn't like it. I understand all that. But it would be different, honey, because there's been rumors that Dorit and Mauricio have been kicking it. One on one together and no one else. Yeah, you got to be careful with bringing friends into your fold with your husband or your wife. You got to be very careful being really friends with your friends' spouses. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. I know some stories. I ain't gonna get into it because I don't have a lot of time. I got to get to work. I'm doing this before work. I got to go. So, she understands all that. Nobody wants PK. He's broke. Kyle has money. She just wants love, but she don't want it from that. She's not attracted to PK. And not at all. Look at Mauricio and look at PK. Look at Mauricio, then look at PK again. Okay, I'll tell y'all a little quick story. So I knew someone who was married for like, they broke up. It was like 25 years of marriage. And they were best friends with, she had a best friend and her best friend was married. So the four of them did a lot together, growing up, having their kids calling each other cousins, woo, 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 woo. So I don't know when the best friend and her husband broke up, but she was single for a minute, woo, woo, woo. Long story short, she stole her best friend's husband, stole him up under her nose. Yeah. And they still together. And this story happened 20 years ago. And the ex best friend and the ex husband, they're not even divorced because she said she's not going to divorce him because she won't what's coming to her. She won't retirement, the 401k. So she will not grant him a divorce because of, the ex best friend taking him. But I can't tell you the story on how she busted him. But it was a mess. Okay, so I didn't tell you what happened. So I do know from experience, you got to be careful. Like my best friend, I don't even have her husband's number, and she don't have mine. I don't have. Nope. Not even like with my cousins' husbands. Of course, you had a number because you hang out holidays, but I would never. I am that kind of person. But moving on. You just got to be careful because things can happen, honey. So, Dorit tells Kyle she broke the girl code. Girl, are you serious? Kyle asks, "Where was her girl code when she read all her text messages to millions of viewers on the she was on was she no when she was on not Watch What Happens Live, it was some video. Was it Amazon or was it the other people's interview? I can't remember. And she said, "You broke the girl code and the friend code." You broke the decency code. You broke the code, honey. Dorit said they weren't friends in her mind, and it was okay for her to do that. What? Oh, Kyle said it was too much. All the ladies were coming at her about PK, and she had had enough. Bo said, "Girl, I told you to block him. I wasn't coming at you. All I said was block him." She did at that Viper room. Yeah. Kyle was like, "I had had enough." She said, she is all girl code. She comes from a family full of sisters. All she has are daughters. She knows the girl code. Dorit gave her an example of what she should have told her. And Kyle said, "You know what? I wish I would have said that." Dorit wishes that Kyle just would have said, "Yes, I sent him a text after I found out you guys separated and it hit the news. Yes, I sent him a message when y'all split. Period, point blank, period." That end. The end. Can y'all just be fair to each other and say all bets are off? And then, because well, remember, no. They said, "Can you just be fair to each other?" And she said, "Well, all bets were off back then. We weren't friends." Were we friends? What you mean? I need to be fair to you. Oh, okay. Then Dorit blasts Kyle for saying something in her confessional that PK was a better friend to her than Dorit. And she was like, "Are you serious? Really?" And so Kyle was like, "Well, at my vulnerable moment in my time of darkness when I split with Mauricio, he used to check on me, you know, and he would send me memes to try to make me laugh. And that's how that probably started." And so Dorit was like, is that makes him a better friend, Kyle? You weren't around. She did. So see what I don't like about this? You're telling her you read all of your text messages that she sent you. You read them on a live interview. Uh-huh. You told her the reason why you felt no ways tired about it is because y'all were not friends. So in the moment when you guys were not friends, she's telling him, "Hey, I'm sorry to hear this." She sent you a text too. He's responding, because he's being malicious. Let's not act like PK don't know what he's doing. But she's wrong. Now you asking her, was he a better friend than you? You just said you wasn't. No, all bets were off. You're not a friend. You wasn't a friend then. Oh, Dorit. Do we have to see her next season? So the thing is, you both were in a bad place, okay? And Dorit made sure, she said, "I made sure you was okay after you ran out of Bose's house. Remember, with the bathrobe on and all that? She was leaving with the bathrobe on, looking ghetto." And so, yeah, she said, and I did my version of being there for you." And then Kyle's crystal fell on the floor, child. Oh, God, it did I said, oh no. The crystal's like, bull crap, I gotta go. Girl, the crystal trying to roll up out of here. Because that was the first time Kyle dropped it. They like, oh no. Andy talking about, oh, that's bad juju. And they all like, everybody looking like, uh-oh. Like the crystal, they act like the crystal jumped off the table. They acted so shocked, like some magic had just happened, and they was all about to run off the stage. That's not how crystals work, I heard. So Bo says, Kyle be lying. Not Kyle be lying too. Yeah, you're lying. Yeah, I'm a liar. You tell lies. Texting jokes and memes. Uh-huh. But it was more than that. She said the omission, yeah, equals lies. I said, oh no, not the omission equals lies. Kyle be lying. Kyle said one time they talked about why they weren't speaking. He's never gossiped about you, Dorit. That's the only thing we were texting. I was just telling him that I wasn't fooling with you. And he said he ain't fooling with you either. We had something in common. And you know that, Dorit. Sometimes when people have things in common, that brings them close. Not like, intimately, but that brings them close. They both don't fool with you. So that was the culprit of their bonding, their texting, okay? Dorit's still trying to get her point across. Ain't nobody even, we don't want to hear it no more, Dorit. We've been hearing it all. See, this is the 19th episode. So there has been 17 episodes of you explaining to everybody how you feel, how they should act, what they should have done. We didn't heard it all before. Kyle said she gets it. We all get it, Dorit. Move on. So she can't. She got to keep talking, and she tell Kyle it's juvenile. It's just juvenile. Shut up. When were you grown? Andy asked, have you text PK since? Messy Andy. She said yes. Kyle said yes when Jagger was in the hospital. They didn't get into why Jagger was in the hospital, so we'll move on. And so he asked Dorit, does it bother you? And here go Dorit. She always got a it bothers me. She is long-winded, right? Dorit is long-winded. It bothers me that she thinks her and PK has this friendship where he holds her secrets. Well, Kyle, he tells me everything. Duh, you act like Kyle's not a wife. She's been a wife way longer than you. She knows how this thing go. She's been a wife 3 times longer than you, honey. She knows how this goes. Kyle's like, what has he told you? She texted and told him at Oceanside that we were fighting. So you did that, Kyle? You were texting PK? Yeah, I sure did. He was with Mauricio, and I texted and told him that, we're here fighting on this trip. We're not getting along. And so Andy's like, he's putting a pin in it. Okay, so where do y'all go from here? So Kyle apologizes to Dorit. She says she knows things looked weird. She wants to move forward. She wants them to be able to support each other. Exactly. And I said what in the first episode review, the recap, I said that like you guys are both going through a divorce. It seemed like you guys will hold on to each other. But no, Dorit just want to fuss and fight with everybody. She's trying to keep her check. Because what I heard before this season, they were like, if y'all don't get this together, you got to go. And, allegedly this storyline about her and PK divorcing is supposed to be fake. And I believe I just read somewhere that they're not even divorced yet. Okay. So, and, Kyle tells Dorit she loves her. Like, I really do love you. So Dorit wants to talk without the girls there, without Andy there, without the cameras, without production, without the network, without the security. That's what she wants to do. Okay, great. Moving on. So Jennifer Tilly joins the stage, honey, in her dripped in shiny gold dress, matching shoes, matching nails, and every ring on her finger, honey. She was cute. I believe Andy called her Jessica Rabbit. So that's what she was given. Kyle drops her crystal once more. I was like, Kyle, why can't you keep that crystal together? The crystal is trying to go home. The crystal wants to leave with Garcelle. The crystal trying to get to Garcelle like, let's go. This won't end well. So Jennifer Tilly enters the stage of her cute little, she's a breath of sunshine for this dark cloud of people. Uh, so in her bio, they talk about her bio on Instagram. It only says friend of. That's it. Real cute. Um, and how does it feel, being a friend of? And she said, it's really different. I was a super fan of the show. Yeah, because your friend Sutton is on the show. And she says, like, it's a lot of screaming on this cast. She can't take it. She even told them on a break that she don't know how they all sit up here for this long and do the reunion. Because they be on that stage for like 14 hours. So a viewer asked Jennifer, I'm gonna try to call her just Jennifer, because why does she get a first and last name? They called in and asked Jennifer about her Louis Vuitton boat purse, and she said Pharrell Williams designed it. You guys know Pharrell, Pharrell, the producer, the singer, the rapper. Um, she says she has a bag dealer. Some people have a substance abuse dealer, and she has a bag dealer. She said on the Chiron, it said that her boat purse was $33,000. So she called her bag lady and was like, how much was it? What did I spend? And the dealer told her she only spent $24,000. So she's like, okay, so I didn't spend that much. Okay. So Garcelle was like, well, you could sell it for 34. And she was like, yeah, I could sell it for like 33,000. Mm-hmm. So then they talk about a one-of-a-kind necklace that she had on. That's cute. It looked like a belt. She said when she first saw it, she couldn't afford it. It is a one-of-a-kind. There's only one of these necklaces in the world. So when she became really rich, that's how she says it. So when I became rich, I bought it. She got in touch with the owner and she worked something out and they shipped it to her or whatever. She couldn't answer how much she makes with The Simpsons, but Andy suggested that it's in the 7 figures. Kyle says, well, judging by her rings on her finger, yes, 7 figures is about right. She got all this drip on her, y'all. Big old, shiny, old clarity diamond rings, right? So Andy tells anyone who tries to get any idea on trying maybe robbing her or breaking into her home, Lord forbid, just so you know, Jennifer keeps all her jewelry in a safe deposit vault at the bank. And y'all know where my mind went to when I heard vault in the bank. Atlanta Housewives. Mm-hmm. So she apologized to Dorit for saying that PK can't afford staying at the Beverly Hills Hotel. She was like, I just was talking too much. I talk a lot and I was just talking because I thought that maybe he stayed in a bungalow because I thought that the Beverly was like 25,000 a night. Dorit was like, no, it's not. Because he wouldn't be able to stay a whole night. He would have to go in, check in, and only do 15 minutes and come on up out of there. And why is a hotel 25,000 a night? I would like to know what that experience is like. Besties, if you know, let me know. So Dorit says that she enjoys Jennifer Tilly. She's not tripping. She ain't mad at her. And she hopes she stays on the show. Oh, why? She's going to have to stay on the show because I'm assuming she came on to be an ally with Sutton. And if she is going to, she going to have to step her game up and take all them rings off and them heels and get to talking. And by the last episode, it seemed like she got a hang of how this show works. Because she was in there, she was speaking for Sutton a little bit. Then remember she pulled back. So she was speaking up. So it's maybe she's learning because Jennifer, if you're not going to put the gloves on and come in this ring fighting with and for yourself and with Sutton, then you don't need to come back. Because we don't, I mean, it's cute that you're there with discussing all your success, but we have Kathy Hilton for that. Okay. She don't even have to say anything because we know she's Kathy Hilton. We already know it's in the name. I didn't even know who you were. However, you're great, but this ain't the show for you. And I don't want them to ruin you. I really don't want you to come back. I want them, I don't know what I want. But Sutton, they gonna rip Sutton apart. Oh, I do know what I want, besties. I want Reba to come on to Jennifer can stay. The whole cast can stay. I want Reba to move to Cali and I want her to be like the Mama D. Uh-huh. The Mama Joyce of Beverly Hills. Let's see how that works. Let's let her mama be her ally. Like, oh yeah, that would be good. Because what else are they gonna do if you're not gonna shake up the cast? Child, no, because I don't think Erica's finished decorating her house, her rental. Is she done or is she finished? She got to get back in that kitchen and get that get them countertops together and get some more cabinet space. Oh, I don't know. Did she do the second bedroom? Oh, I don't know. So then Kathy Hilton joins the stage and she got her purse looking like, the grandmother of the bride. But, she's rich and I don't know what, she's rich and she's displaying richness. Hey, Kathy. Hey, girl. So Kyla's like, girl, are we Chinese or are we not Chinese? So Kathy explains this old crazy this crazy thing about them being Chinese. So she met a lady when she was in Venice, and the lady asked her just a few questions like, what was her last name? What was her family name? Where was she born? What is her background? So the lady looked up all this information on a phone, Google, and she told her she was Chinese from like 3,000 years ago. Ooh, that was hilarious. Because Kathy's like, hey, the lady just said it. I'm just saying it. Angie asked, has Kathy always been shady or has the cast rubbed off on her? She said they rubbed off on her. And so, because they talk about when she was sitting there, when she had the dinner, when the girls were in Augusta and she had that dinner over about with the lemons and everything, and she called PK PJ and said he looked 56 when she met him 10 years ago. And then she said Mauricio looks more like her father rather than her husband. But then she cleans it up and says, now that PK has stopped drinking, he looks better now in his face. He looks better. And Dorit, they say how young she looks. So maybe that's why PK looks so much older than her, because Dorit looks very young for her age and she thanks them. So they asked who was that? Erica. Wait. Oh, the question was Andy had asked on Watch What Happens Live, who kisses up to Kathy Hilton more? And Erica was one of the guests on the show. And she said Sutton and then Garcelle. Girl, excuse me. Garcelle said, why? Why you say me? Where you get that from? So Erica's like, look, I wasn't thinking about it. It's Watch What Happens Live. It's shady. I gave a shady answer. I was playing the game. Sutton says, she talks to Kathy almost every day. There's no sucking up there. Kathy Hilton doesn't think so. She says, no, she don't suck up to me. What are you talking about? I pay a staff to suck up to me. Man, what you mean? My kids suck up to me. My husband sucks up to me. I have plenty of people in my house that suck up to me. Don't you see every time you come over, it's 8 people working on me. Even at the reunion, somebody was rubbing her feet while she was getting her child. That is some good rich there, honey. I ain't mad at you, Kathy. I ain't mad, Kathy, honey. So last year, Sutton was afraid of her, but now that they're friends, they're good. I was like, Sutton was very timid last year. It did give alcohol and pills, Sutton. It did. But Dorit, you didn't have to call it out every time, every chance you got. So then they talk about Kim, their sister Kim. She wasn't doing good in the tabloids the last time they heard about her. She ended up moving to Florida, and they kind of kept it on the hush and said she's doing much better. Clearly, she's in rehab. Oh my goodness. Y'all couldn't just say that? We all know what that meant. Moving on. So, Andy, Sutton, what was your goal in doing the ceremony with this sisterhood thing? Well, we were disjointed and I wanted to bring us back together. So a viewer says Dorit called someone at the table to see you next Tuesday, but you know, but Sutton pointing out her anger was too low. Garcelle thinks Bowles overreacted to Sutton's comment. She said, yes, I did. And so Andy asked her, right, that in a question, trying to get Garcelle to talk. Garcelle said probably 5 words that whole night. She is over it. She is done. She said, yeah, I did. Bo says Sutton said the words with the intentions to hurt. No, I didn't. No, you said it with the intentions to hurt. That's why you said it. Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't mean to hurt. Yes, you did. Take accountability. Child, what Bo's gonna do, she gonna hold everybody accountable. Yes, she is. But she needs to get to know more of the girls and stop hanging out with Dorit so well. But hey, whatever. But Dorit was yelling at everybody. She was even cussing at Camille. But that's no way to get somebody to stop yelling. I was like, Bose just will check you like you a kid. Sutton, well, I agree, and I can learn from that. Bose is like, that's taking accountability. That right there. You learned right there in that moment. This was a teachable moment, and you learned. Good for you. So Andy brought up how Sutton cut off Dorit when they were getting ready to go to Garcelle's beach home. And she was in there talking about, they were having a sisterhood moment. She was telling them about how her son found out that her and PK were getting divorced. He saw it on Instagram and he confronted her about it. And so Sutton says production told her to cut her off and she didn't know how to do it with manners. And that was cute because she was kind of like, okay, that's it. Okay, we got to go. Okay, let's go. And it was like, okay. But Dorit, you do talk a lot, but it was rude because she was sharing. She did this a little support. Yeah. And so Dorit starts screaming at her. You could have said it. And you know how Dorit goes off. She gonna get in Sutton every chance she get, and we're tired of it. We're tired of it, Dorit. We are tired of it. I thought you were Miss Manners. She said, no, I'm not Miss Manners anymore. Yo, well, you are. So here we go. You poking the bear. This is what you call poking the bear. So now, anyway, we'll get to it. So Sutton admits, she said, I did it terribly. I know I did. And so then Dorit asked her, where is the Sutton that stares with the little beady eyes and goes low? She didn't come today, Sutton, huh? Where is she, Sutton? Because this person right here is not genuine. Where is the Sutton that goes low? She just poking the bear. And so Sutton says, well, where is the Dorit that calls people to see you next Tuesday? Oh, she's right here. I'm right here. This Sutton's wallet comment comes up. And I hate that they say wallet. Why we couldn't just say poor Reet? I wish they would have addressed the word poor Reet because, baby, she can't live that name down. That is her name. So Garcelle couldn't defend Sutton in that moment. She said, I couldn't. That was just terrible. Kyle said it was disgusting. It was a disgusting comment. Jennifer Tilly says, it was beneath you. Ooh. And so Kathy Hilton says, we talked, how we talk all the time. And you said you were not proud of that. You were not. And you shouldn't be. I was like, ooh, they're coming for you, girl. So Sutton says she called her an alcoholic. Yes. And in that moment, Sutton can say whatever she wants. How dare you women tell Sutton that she was so wrong? Do I remember? Do I got to go back last season to see if y'all was giving Dorit this same energy for calling people out, telling people, saying that she was on pills and she got an issue, a substance problem, as in alcohol. And I'm calling the pill substance, not anything worse. And we don't know. And it's just like all bets are off when you call people stuff. You call me an alcoholic. You wonder why your husband don't want to talk to you. You called him one too. A monster, an alcoholic, and a bad father. And you wonder why he wants to just contact you by email only. Girl. So Dorit says, and this is the poor people's, shade. Your money only bought, you want to talk about how I said your money only bought you a horse and not a date? No, we ain't worried about that little stupid comment because it didn't land. Sutton, yeah, that wasn't nice either. She said that to Dorit. That wasn't nice either. Dorit can't, so Dorit is like, well, you don't live like the Queen of Sheba. You live on a main road. I was like, whoa. Like you talking about when you can't come out your driveway when you want to because you gotta let traffic go. You gotta play Frogger. Do anybody remember Frogger, the video game? When you gotta duck into the streets and not get hit by a car because there's trucks driving down the street every day, all day, and cars and loud engines and car accidents and sirens and ambulance. Like, what are you saying? Is that where she lives? Where she can't get out her driveway and it might take 20 minutes to turn into her driveway? Wow. But Dorit, you live in Encino in a rental in Mauricio's business name. Dorit, you owe taxes, state and federal. You overspend. You wear designers like you got it like that. Your house is in foreclosure, sweetheart. What are you talking about? You do own the right to be named Porit. And don't come for me, y'all. This is a show. We just having fun. We don't know these people. So here go Dorit with the. So wait, in the meantime, Jennifer Tilly is unwrapping her candy loud. And I don't know why production didn't turn this off. I guess we needed a funny moment because it was getting too deep and they just wanted to be messy and shady. Child, that was the loudest rapper I have ever heard. Oh, I don't even have a rapper. Y'all could have went and got a rapper, but it was just, it was just, and she just sitting there like a kid in class trying to sneak. She not even owning up to this candy going in her mouth because she's probably hungry because she will carry candy because they don't feed you. But she was back there eating when she was getting ready. She asked for coffee. They said they had some kind of maple something back there, a maple bar, and she said, "Oh, that's my favorite." She was back there eating, but baby, she was hungry. Hilarious. And then I think she got 2 pieces of candy. So Dorit goes into well, I'm loved where I live. There's more love. Big love means more than having a big bank account. She went into all that. And I got plenty of love around me. Call it, referring to Sutton being, lonely, just her. Her kids are grown and gone. She just got Avi. Her mama's in Georgia. They didn't have a good relationship until, recently. And Dorit is so Sutton just looking at her with the little beady eyes. And so Dorit tells her you have to be nice in order to get love. Child, you're not nice. You have not been nice to Sutton, but y'all both kind of, they both got stuff, you can be team whoever. You're very well welcome to do that. I'm not, I don't care. Because nobody, I'm not. I don't act like that. I am no. I don't care. So wait. And so Sutton says, Dorit, I don't need you telling me this. I just don't. And the Dorit says, oh wait, you guys know what? Let's go back. Stop, pause. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be late for work. But anyway, let me go back. Um, Talking about the texting with your friend's husband and all that. True story, just happened this past weekend, right? One of my good girlfriends, right? We hung out. And so she's been in a relationship for like 5 years. So it's not uncommon that you don't hang out with her as much because she's with in her new relationship or whatever, and you respect their space, whatever. So they had some ups and downs early in their relationship, and so she decided that she was gonna stop sharing that because she made it in her mind that she was gonna ride with him. But respect, right? Not my thing, but respect. So we hang out, and she told me they broke up to what is this, April? So she tells me they broke up back in December, January. Didn't know. I could tell because we hung out around my birthday, and I could tell that there was a shift. Like we didn't bring him up that night. He didn't call, he didn't text, and it was kind of like, I'm, but I just held on to it because I'm gonna let her talk when she's ready. So we went out this past weekend. He came, he was there. They are funking, right? He ain't talking, they not talking, they not looking. He over here, she over here. Just the drama. So everybody, because it was me and two of her other friends. So we're all like caught in the middle. But one of her friends don't care for him at all. She don't care. One is cool with him, and I'm just sitting here like the mama bear sitting here like, I don't know what to do. So I didn't do nothing because I know girl code. My girlfriend is my friend, not him. So we went to an after party, and so he got really close to us. And so I think we all took a group picture because we were all there supporting the mutual friend. It was a show. They put on a show. So I think we were taking a group picture, and I just went over there to him. And I said, "Hey, what's up? You not speaking?" So we hugged, and he was like, "What's up behind the shade?" You like how I did that? What's up? And all that. And so I was like, I don't know what's happening. So he like, your friend is an a-hole, and blah, 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 blah. And it was like, whoa, homie. And he was like, if you want me, he knew it wasn't the right setting, but he was like, if you want to know my side, hit me on the inbox, hit me in my inbox. I was like, okay, good night, love you. Right. So, child, I woke up the next morning on Sunday morning. I had 2 messages from him. He running down blah, 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 his piece. And I told her, and I screenshotted, I sent it to her. She asked, so what are you going to say? Are you going to respond? One or the other. And I said, absolutely not. No. So, Kyle, I don't know, girl. You might need to work on your girl code, honey, because I was out there and I felt no ways like I needed to respond. There's a lot of reasons why I didn't respond. Number one, remember last night he called her an a-hole. This woman that I've been knowing for a long time is sweet as pie, very giving, very thoughtful, very supportive. She's a real old school friend. Like she still like to talk to you on the telephone. You can text her for a little bit and then she'll be calling. Okay. In the message he sent me, he said, F her. And that stood out to me. Now, my thing is, you don't have the emotional intelligence to have a conversation. Number one, y'all broke up. It's month 4. Y'all broke up 3-4 months ago. Y'all ain't even talking. So why would I get in the middle of if y'all ain't trying to talk and hash it out? What am I gonna say? So if I get involved, it's considered messy at this point. It's not even worth helping if it happened 3 or 4 months ago. It's a wrap. You said F her. That stuck out to me. That means you're done. And at the end of it, he said, I'm tired. So there's nothing to talk about. Why wake this up? Why get involved? It's not my mess. He's done, so they say. And the way they acted, childish. I can't have childish conversations. I can't let you talk crazy about my friend. You already said, called her a-hole and then said F her. We're done because you're not even intelligent to have a real conversation. And this needed to end. It needed to end. But we don't know if it's over because, people can say they sorry and try again and try again and try again. You better ask them people that's been married for 50 years. But no, ma'am, I ain't got it to do. Peace is more important than falling into pieces. Okay. So back to the show, and let's wrap this up. You have to be nice in order to get love. Shut up, Dorit. Sutton says, Dorit, I don't need you telling me this. Dorit says, well, so she's still poking. Well, you buy people. You buy people. Oh, you guys know what? Oh, wait. And it was kind of like, what? Yeah, you think you're superior over everyone. Sutton says, who have I tried to buy, honey? Dorit says, oh, here she comes. Here she comes. There she go. Here she come. And it's like, Dorit, if Sutton is like me, we are so tired of hearing about you and just be tired of your mouth, period. We tired of everything that came out of your mouth this whole season. All you've been fussing about is Kyle and PK and them text messages and how Sutton ain't supportive and you just coming for Sutton. This was come for Sutton season. But Sutton is just the beginning, honey. If you plan on staying on this show next season, they are going to tear you apart. You better hope Jennifer Tilly step her game up and Kathy steps her game up because I see what you did there. You trying to step your game up with them, but you remember Kathy is Kyle's sister, and yes, they barely get along, but they've been getting along, baby, honey. That was it, besties. Part 2, let's admit it, it was boring. Part 1 was really good. And if you saw the previews for next week, the final reunion, you see that something happens. Garcelle makes it through the end of the 3rd part, but when they get up to do a toast, I want to say maybe Dorit said something out of pocket, and Garcelle said, that's it. And I think she put her drink down and she walked off. And they showed the van taking her, sweeping her away back to the airport, maybe. But because Dorit was the one, come back, Garcelle. No, you can't do that. Come back. Ciao, bye. And Sutton, you should go right with her because they're gonna tear you up. They're gonna tear you up. Up, up, up. Well, that was it, besties. Let me try to get in here and get to work, honey, because boy, oh boy, I'm late. But I had to get this out to you. And guess what? I'll be back with another recap. Bye, besties.